G'day, Richo from Epic here. Hope everyone's keeping well. I'm here to check in with you in regard to our Epic Sur-Thrival guide. Today I'm going to be talking about the fifth and final layer of the Sur-Thrival guide, tools. I know tools doesn't sound as inspiring as leadership, personal well-being and strategy, but trust me, it's equally, if not more important, because tools are the way that we enable all those other layers to happen. You've got to have a strategy around your remote tooling, and unfortunately, we've already purchased a software package from company X, and we'll just use the tools that come free in that bundle. Isn't a strategy. Your strategy needs to be looking at three key elements. One is asynchronous communication. The second is virtual meetings, and the third is collaboration tools. Asynchronous communication is something we take for granted in our everyday lives and when we're in our normal workplace. When we're working remotely, it becomes a little bit harder to do. So we're looking for tools that enable us to communicate in real time, have instant feedback, and have low overheads. There are a lot of different tools in this space, but some of the more popular asynchronous communication tools include Slack, HipChat, Google Chat, Microsoft Teams, and Mattermore. All of these tools provide us with a chat-based platform to connect with our colleagues in real time and ask questions, to get advice or bounce around ideas about our work. Equally as importantly, these tools can also help us stay connected on a more personal level. They go a long way to maintaining the office camaraderie and the workplace banter that we're so used to in a remote world. At Epic, we've got a tribe of 40 plus people across multiple locations, and Slack is the backbone of how we stay connected. Whether it's individual messages back and forth, group messages, group channels, swarming on things, asking for advice, asking for help, or organization-wide communications, Slack is the place to go. So we know firsthand how important having a great asynchronous communication tool is to a remote working strategy. The next element you need to be considering in your remote tooling strategy is virtual meeting tools. There are so many virtual meeting tools out there. There's Zoom, GoToMeeting, WebEx, Skype for Business, Hangouts, Video Facilitator. How can you choose which one? By and large, they all do the same thing, but they've all got little nuances and little different features that make them more appropriate for some things and less appropriate for others. At Epic, we've got a handful of different virtual meeting tools we use depending on what we're trying to achieve. We find that little features like being able to bump people out into virtual collaboration rooms and then bring them back together, or having the ability for participants to virtually raise their hand through the tool to ask a question, or something as simple as just being able to see every participant on the call on the screen at once can have a dramatic impact in realizing the results that we're after. It's really important to understand the outcome that you want from the meeting or the type of meeting you're doing, whether it's a small meeting, a meetup, maybe you're running a workshop, maybe it's a small tutorial, or maybe you're running full-blown training or a webinar. Understanding what you're doing and the outcomes you're after, and understanding the features that are available, when they're most appropriate, and how to use them can make a huge difference to the success of your virtual meeting. The other element that's going to round out your holistic remote tooling strategy is collaboration tools. Now, this one's a biggie, and it's not just because there's a shed load of tools available, it actually covers three areas. One is around collaborating on planning and synchronizing the work. The second is being able to collaborate in brainstorming and, workshopping ideas. And the third is collaborating on actually doing the work and executing the work. In order to plan and synchronize the work, you're probably going to be using your virtual meeting tools and your asynchronous communication tools. But the question here is, where are the outcomes of those conversations you're having actually saved and visualized? There are some great tools out there like Trello, Jira, and Monday, which allow teams, individuals, and departments to track their work plans. Next, we want to consider how our teams are going to brainstorm remotely and collaborate and layer on all those cool creative ideas. We can use things like the G Suite and Office 365, but there's even better tools out there that mimic a whiteboard or a wall that we might use in the office. Things like Miro and Jamboard are really great tools for enabling your teams to collaborate and brainstorm more effectively. So the last area you want to look at in regard to collaboration tools is tools that are going to allow you to collaborate on doing the actual work. This is probably the trickiest one to look at because there's no one-size-fits-all approach. It really depends on the work you do as to what tool you might use. You'll probably find that different teams and different departments within your organization actually need to look at different tooling in this space. My advice with this one would be to start with the tools you already use in the workplace to do the work that you're doing and see if they are remote compatible. If not, do some research and find out what the best tools are to match that functionality that you need and get the outputs and the results that you're after. Okay, so that's the tools layer of the Epic Sur-Thrival guide in a nutshell. It's really time to double down on your remote tooling strategy and make sure that it covers asynchronous communication tools, virtual meeting tools, and collaboration tools. If you want some advice or guidance, don't hesitate to reach out.